This is, and you have a pretty decent picture in your book, I think, of the eye, and this is one I'd come up out of a physiology book. So just to identify some major parts we need to talk about, first we start at the top with the sclera. And the sclera is the outer toughest layer of the eye. It really gives the eye some strength. Have you ever been poked in the eye? If it wasn't very strong, you'd think that little yellow ball should have just popped right out of there, but it didn't. It's pretty strong. Has anybody ever dissected a cow eye or a sheep eye? That wasn't easy to cut through to start with, and then of course goo come out. But I mean, just to say, oh, this will be easy to cut, it's not. It's really tough, and that's what the sclera is there for. Then I come around to the fovea centralis. Now here's a note for it. Now it's this little indention right there that's found in the retina. The note for it is the area of most acute vision because it's 100% cones. Being cones, daylight vision is focused right there, and you'll see your best vision. You'll make out color and detail and all the preciseness necessary. The fovea. Along the outside areas is where the rods will be found. So you actually see better with rods with more peripheral vision than straight on. Posterior cavity is full of humor, vitreous humor. Then you have the retina, which is the innermost layer. It contains the rods and cones right through here. The choroid coats the center layer, and being the center layer, it has actually a blood supply to it. Then we come up here to the ciliary body. It's just a muscle. It's like any other muscle of the body, but now it's found in the eye. But it's connected to some suspensory ligaments right here. There's ciliary body, suspensory ligaments connected to the lens. And what the ciliary body, the muscle does, if it relaxes, when it relaxes, it actually pulls the ligaments tight, or the book uses the term taut, and flattens the lens. If the muscle contracts, it loosens the ligaments and the lens goes rounded. So that allows us to focus on something afar or something coming near, and a term that they use in the book called accommodation. So I'll go into that in a little more detail in just a second. Aqueous humors in the front. Of course, the lens focuses the light. The pupil is the hole in the eye. The size of the pupil is determined by the amount of light, which is then adjusted by the iris. If there's a lot of light, we don't need that much coming in, do we? You ever had your eyes dilated at the doctor? That's horrible, isn't it? I went to the doctor, and I was getting a little bump. It's driving my wife nuts, I guess. It wouldn't bother me at all, but she wanted to cut off, so we do what we're told to do, and I went and got it cut off. Needless to say, it's all a scam, but they had to do a complete eye exam before they could cut that bump off. And I went by myself, and complete eye exam requires dilation of eyes. And I said, I got to drive home. Oh, you'll be all right. You know where Bobo Station is in Cameron? I missed the turnoff. And I thought, well, okay, I missed the turnoff. I'll go up there and just cut through the driveway. I missed that. I drove off into the ditch and it come out over by the gas pumps, but then I kind of got refocused again, and I barely made it home. But I was going around with plugged eyes. Holy smoke, there is something about this. You can't hardly drive. Hey, you'll be all right. What's up with that, you know? Well, and it was right the worst time of the day to see anyway. It was late in the evening, dusky dark. I got sunglasses on because what light was out there was killing me. I couldn't see anywhere I was going. Lucky you wasn't out there. I could have run you smooth over.
When your eyes are dilated.
It's just you're extremely sensitive because there's so much light coming in. It's just bombarding you. Yeah, it's just driving you nuts. Give you a headache too if you know.
Does it like reflect and you can't really tell?
It's not really. It's just so bright. It's like, man, you don't even want to look. You just want to close your eyes. But then you got to look, and then it's like, what is that? Whoa, it's a gas station. So I turned left. It was really weird. I don't ever do that again. But I did it for my wife because I live to serve. So the size of that pupil, if there's a lot of light out there, the pupil should be small. And if there's not a lot of light, like at night, the pupil will be large. In physiology, we just do a little deal in here, and we have somebody just close their eyes for about 5 minutes, and then when they open their eyes, we hit them with a pin light right in their eye. Well, you can just watch the pupils just go nuts, you know. But that's all it's doing is reacting to the amount of light. And let's see, the lens already covered. The cornea is outside covering. It's really the sclera that's thinned out. And you've heard of corneal abrasions? You get a scratch in the eye, or that's all it is. It's protection. It's a layer of protection. Then, of course, the iris is what makes the adjustment to the size of the pupil. If there's plenty of light, then the iris will close the size of the pupil down. If there's not a lot of light, then it'll open up the size of the pupil to react that way. Okay, with that said, I'll go into the focusing process. Okay, the focusing process is if your ciliary body is relaxed, which would be in a case like if you was asleep. Then your ciliary body's relaxed, all your muscles really should be relaxed. It will draw the suspensory ligaments taut, T-A-U-T, which means tight. It stretches them, which flattens the lens. And focuses on far vision. So anytime your lens is flattened, if you're relaxed and your lens is flattened, you're focused on far vision. You ever have somebody come just wake you up? You've been just dead asleep and they wake you up, wake up, and they're right there in your face, and you open your eyes and like, back up. You can't just get focused on them. You just want to throw them the other side of the room so you can see them. Who are you? And I do that to my wife all the time. Who are you? But we're focused on far vision, and you have to do right the opposite of this to focus on something up close. So the ciliary body actually will contract, which loosens suspensory ligaments, and the lens goes to a rounded shape, and you focus on something up close. And that flexibility is what we lose with age. Your eyes, the lens quits flexing back and forth. It'll go flat and stay flat, and you'll focus way out there, but you can't read anything right in front of you. And if you can do that well now, just go ahead and make an appointment at age 40. You're going to need glasses. Everything else about your body starts going downhill at age 20. Your eyes, if they're good now, will go downhill at age 40. What do you think? Agree with that? Anybody have good eyes? 20/20? No? Bad eyes?
I did when I was 10.
Do what?
I did when I was 10, but I went downhill after that.
Well, you're aging quickly. So, but at age 40, we lose a lot of that flexibility. If you have light-colored eyes, you have a greater chance of cataracts. Darker colored eyes, less chance of cataracts. And light-colored eyes, you're probably more sensitive to the sun. And let's see what else goes along with that. Let's look at hyperopia. Myopia and astigmatism. Hyperopia is farsightedness, myopia is nearsightedness, and astigmatism is an uneven curvature of the eye, which used to be really difficult to deal with, but now they have contacts to match this one. Literally from 20 feet away, if you covered one eye and looked at this chart right here, in astigmatism, a series of lines would be darker. Like maybe 4 to 10, that line would be darker than the rest of it if you have astigmatism. Or there could be more, there could be 2 and 8 and 10 and 4, 12 and 6. Anybody? Y'all are about 20 feet away back there in the back. Does anything look darker when you cover an eye? Anybody diagnosed with astigmatism? Yes? Of course, you may have to take your glasses off to actually now see if you can tell the difference.
I can't see anything.
So the paper just disappeared because you took your glasses off. That's pretty sad. You know you get your bad genetics from your mother, right? You would argue that. Knowing your father, I'd probably argue that too.
She drove here today, too.
Do what?
She drove here today.
That's pretty scary. Okay, so in theory, hyperopia being farsighted, what they say is that you have a short eyeball. Now, I don't follow that, but this is theory so that they can explain it better. And when light comes into the lens, it doesn't come together to be focused until it gets way back here, and it should be focusing right here. So what they use is a convex lens, which converges the light sooner out front and makes sure it comes together where it's supposed to. So if you have hyperopia, it's probably your own lens not flexing like it should, but they're gonna set you up with a pair of convex lenses in your glasses that'll converge that light sooner and make it hit where it's supposed to, so things won't be so blurry. Now myopia, they say you have a long eyeball. And when light comes in, it connects here instead of back here. So here they're gonna use a concave lens, and the concave lens diverges the light out in front of the eye, so when it does come together, it comes together where it's supposed to. So a convex for hyperopia, a concave for myopia, and astigmatism is just an uneven curvature, so they have to make lenses with uneven curvature to make up the difference of your eye. So you can see where that would be a little more difficult, but they've mastered that pretty well. So there's those. Now, the other thing we want to look at are the rods and cones. What animals out there see color? Do you see color? Okay, people, there's a good start. We're I would hope, an upper animal. Any other animals see color?
On my marsupial thing, I remember it said one of them saw color.
One of the marsupials?
I don't remember which it was though. I remember
That would be
reading that.
probably a kind of a odd, specific situation.
Yeah, I remember.
In
reading
general,
that.
they probably don't, for the most
Yeah.
part.
I think it was something real little, like a real little something.
Oh, maybe a sugar,
No.
oh, just a guess. Birds see color really well. Birds have the best eyesight. They beat us. Our best sense is eyesight, would you agree? Birds beat us. An owl can see 10 times better than we can, and a hawk can see 8 times better than we can. Now, the advantage we have over a lot of birds, not all birds, but a lot of birds, is the binocular vision. Birds of prey have binocular vision. Hawks and owls and ospreys and eagles, they have binocular vision, because if they're gonna dive after that crouching rabbit at 200 meters, they better know when to stop, huh? Of course, we even we walk into sliding glass doors, so. Birds beat us on vision. Other animals that see color, frogs see color, squirrels see color, fish see color. Primates, of course, that's our closest cousins, if you want to believe that. But that's about it. The rest of the animals see shades of gray. Now, if you're totally colorblind and you're seeing shades of gray, and you walked into, just say this is a dark room, but just a hint of light in here, you could tell the difference in a white sweatshirt and a gray sweatshirt, couldn't you? Or something lighter colored compared to something darker colored. You could tell that difference. Now, could you identify the exact color? Probably not. But you could certainly tell that the lighter colored clothing reflects more light than the darker absorbs it. So the big question, of course, I get in a lot of classes is, why don't we wear orange during deer season? Of course, we know next week is not Thanksgiving break, it's deer season break. Why do we wear orange? So some idiot won't shoot you. That's why you wear orange. Can deer see it? Absolutely. It's an oddity in a forest. You have orange out there. Do they see bright orange? No. They see bright light reflecting off that orange. And that's why we get up in tree stands, get up out of their eyesight level. You get out of their eyesight level, they're not as apt to see the oddity in the forest. Of course, me, I sit on the ground, I don't care if they come by or not, because I'm sleeping. If I sit up a tree stand and sleep, I fall out and break my neck. So I don't like to wear the straps, so I just don't get up there, because you can see me hanging off the tree while I still sleep, probably. Why wear camouflage? Camouflage absorbs the same amount of light, same kind of light that the forest does. It doesn't reflect anything different than the forest does, and so therefore you blend. It's all the light refraction concept is where that plays. Rods deal with night vision, and rods are extremely sensitive. Extremely sensitive meaning a little bit of light will trigger one. Okay, cones, day vision, they're not sensitive at all. But this is where we see our best vision when there's plenty of light, but they're not sensitive. Rods use a substance called rhodopsin. Rhodopsin is a light-sensitive pigment that's built in the absence of light. So if you walked out of this room into a dark room, close the door, it's totally dark, 20 minutes later, you would have all sufficient rhodopsin built to the best of your ability to actually be able to see in that dark room, 20 minutes. You ever gone to a afternoon matinee, dark in the movie, although the movie had some brightness to it, but you sat in a dark house for a couple hours. Then you walked outside to bright sunlight on white concrete. You ever done that? What's the first thing you do? You squint and then sneeze, right? Does it make you sneeze? It makes me, maybe I'm just only, okay. Me and Holly's the two weirdos in this class. We sneeze when we see real bright sunlight. But squint's first thing because rhodopsin is destroyed in the presence of light. It took it 20 minutes to build. It probably won't take it 20 minutes to destroy, but it does take it some time to destroy. So yeah, you're squinting, so you don't see the gas station when you drive off and you run off into it, or you're stepping in front of a car coming out of a matinee. Well, it's a good movie, smack. You never know what's going to happen. This is made of a derivative of vitamin A called retinol and a protein called opsin. Retinol is also called retinine sometimes. So this is derivative of vitamin A. Where do you get vitamin A? What foods do you eat to get vitamin A? No information? Carrots? Anything a rabbit eats, really. Green leafy vegetables, I'm sure that's everybody's favorite. Throw some spinach on there and we're good, right? Poke salad, there you go. Eggs and poke salad? No? Make you see better.
I'm good with the salad, I want that.
That's maybe the reason y'all's eyesight's bad, because you don't eat green leafy vegetables.
Is there a big difference between turnip and spinach? Turnip greens and spinach greens?
Not really.
So I like turnip greens, but I hate spinach.
I guess there is a difference in your mind, then, isn't there? Put hot sauce or pecan on all of them and it makes them a whole lot better, in my opinion, but I didn't used to eat any of it, but if it's there, I'll throw some on the plate and mix it in with everything else. And, oh, it's green. It's good for you if it's green, right?
Sure.
Sure. You know the difference in broccoli and boogers for kids, right? Kids will eat broccoli. Okay, so cones, we have red, green, and blue. This is called the trichromatic color theory. We use these three cones to see all the different colors. It's the same colors we've always seen, we just name them different in today's time. There's so many different names for colors, it's unbelievable. It's like, look at something, that's red, no, that's candy apple red. So, well, that's fuchsia, that's just freaking purple. You know, I don't know where we come up with all these names, but regardless of what you name it, we use these three to see it. And if people are colorblind, most of the time when humans are colorblind, it's a partial color blindness, and two of the three don't work. Seems to be the red and the green don't work, and their favorite color would be blue. And they have to memorize stoplights. They can't see red, so they know that red should be on top, so they see a light on top, so okay, it's red. And they learn to memorize that. It has to be red on top or red on the left to right or top to bottom. And that's like a law all the way across the United States. And somebody even said some other country they were in actually had the stoplights like that as well. So, well, it makes sense. It ought to be a worldwide law, because what keeps colorblind people from traveling? There's no law against that I know of. So leave here, go to France, kill people. We don't want that. So Of course, you're driving on the wrong side of the road anyway, so you're already messed up. It's not, I think I'll just stay in Oklahoma. I may go further deep into the woods and get away from all of it. So these three have to do it. And if blue's the color they see, I guarantee you that'll be their favorite color. They'll drive blue vehicles, they'll wear blue jeans, they'll wear a blue shirt with blue jeans, they'll wear a blue hat, they probably have blue eyes. Blue will be their favorite color. I said, what color is old Joe's truck? He got a new truck, what color is it? I don't know, blue? I don't. If it's not blue, they can't tell you. If it's a dull red, they'll call it a brown. If it's a bright brown, they'll call it a red. So better hope it's not dirty. Messes everything up. So our vehicles around here, it's already gonna be messed up, isn't it? All right, anybody have any questions over that? Trichromatic color theory, rods, night vision, very sensitive, not very sensitive, rhodopsin. Cones actually have a pigment, it's called photoopsin, but it's not overly sensitive. It's nothing like rhodopsin is. All right, let me glance at the text here, make sure I hadn't missed anything. I think that's summing this chapter up. Got that covered. They do mention a little bit about compound eyes. We mentioned that as we went through a lot of the insects and the spiders having simple eyes and bees having compound eyes, and they have what's called ommatidia. And these are the little units that make up their multiple eyes, their compound eyes. They did mention that in there. It says that a fovea of that of a lion contained approximately 150,000 cones per square millimeter. But many water and field birds have up to 1 million cones per square millimeter. Their eyes are as good as our eyes would be if aided by 8 power binoculars. So they're basically saying birds see better than us by 8 times. If birds beat us in a lot of things, just don't seem. You know, the bird's ear, here's another good one. Bird can hear actually a wider range of pitch than we can hear. It's the exact same ear as ours, but it's in a smaller form. And if they have nerve damage, their body has the capability of replenishing that nerve and fixing their ear. We've been for years studying that, trying to apply it to ours, since it's almost identical ear to ours, but we yet to figure out why they can and how it's doing it, so we can actually apply it to ours. We haven't figured it out yet. So bird can see better than us. They can fly. They can get there better than us. They can hear better than us. Somebody can yell in their ear and give them hearing damage, and it can fix itself. That's just not right, is it? Makes me want to go home and shoot a bird. Just show them I can.
Do lizards see colors?
Not to my knowledge. Now, there may be a rarity, like she said, one of the marsupials she thought could see colors, but lack of information in her report, we don't know exactly which one. All right, there's the rhodopsin, there's the color vision, there's talks about squirrels, so it actually has some of y'all in here seeing color. That finishes it. I'm done with the lecture.